You run a low-cost carrier, you do it out in Asia, you're looking at Europe. Do you think Michael O'Leary has reached the limits now of what a low-cost carrier can do?
Well, I mean, it's not really for me to talk about Ryanair, but I do believe in that model.
Guy,
I do believe in that model. We've used it quite aggressively, and we believe lowest cost wins. But I think there's a balance between, being nice to your customers and also being prepared for expansion.
Being nice to your staff as well, presumably. Do you reach a limit where turnaround times and an aggressive kind of cramming down on everything reaches their limits?
Well, I mean, I think we have 22,000 staff. I started with 200 staff.
Yep.
We have no unions. We do 25-minute turns. We have the lowest costs. I think our staff are fairly happy. So I think there's a balance. I mean, you have to be efficient, but I think we're all regulated by the regulators. So I think it can work. But sometimes, I mean, Ryan, this isn't the first airline that's had it. Sometimes you lose a lot of pilots. Sometimes you just are growing too quickly and you get caught. And these are things that are spiral into bigger problems.
Just out of curiosity, there's a lot made of this idea that there's a pilot shortage around the world. And the guys upstairs here, the aviation team, we've talked about this. Their sense is there isn't. Do you have any evidence? Do you struggle with gaining pilots?
At the moment, no. But pilots are costing us more than they did a few years ago. I think there's always a catch-up in terms of captains don't come off, supermarket shelves. They have to be made. So, but right now, I think pilot numbers are okay. In Asia, certainly aviation is growing. The Chinese aviation industry is growing, and hence they've been soaking up a lot of pilots. But we're okay at the moment.
What's going on with China? Let's talk a little about China. You bring it up. What are your plans there? This is a massive market. Well, I'll talk about India in a moment, but I'm curious about China first. What's going on?
I mean, I think obviously China's been a big market for us. It's 19% of our revenue. We go to 21 destinations. It's been very, very successful. We're now looking at starting a domestic carrier there, which will be the first in
How's that going?
In the world. It's progressing. I don't want to say too much live on Bloomberg. But
is it trickier than you anticipated?
No, I think it's no trickier from opening in India or Japan, which we're about to open soon. I think we've shown that we know how to start joint venture airlines and grow the market.
Let's talk about India for a moment. Regulations have eased up a little bit. Yeah, I'm not seeing the kind of you and I have talked about India a number of times over the years. Are you being a little cautious in India? More cautious?
Well, I think over the years we've been talking. We started, we got two very strong airlines in Malaysia and Thailand. We had two problem children in Indonesia and Philippines. I said that we're going to take the long view of this. Both are now becoming very profitable and are both going to be public in the not too distant future. Indonesia first and then Philippines. India, we've just taken our time to not go in like a bull in a china shop. We're up to 14 aircraft. Key for us to get to 20 aircraft, then we can fly international. It's going to be one of the jewels in our crown, I really believe. 1 billion people.
But it's a lot slower than
yeah, because, I mean, we wanted to see what the regulatory environment was, and that's finally cleared up now, so we were very clear about the future. So we have a strong ASEAN bunch of countries. We have India. Japan will start in the next few weeks, and then, God willing, we'll have something in China.
So you've got to get to 20 aircraft before you can start flying international in India.
Correct.
They've eased the rules up on that.
It used to be 5 years and 20 aircraft. They've eased that 5-year rule. So we believe within the next 8 months, we should be able to get to a 20 aircraft and start looking at international flights. Having said that, because of this, we're actually making money in domestic now, because they've kind of, we thought we could never make money, but when you got your backs against the wall and everyone's against you, you kind of, as Darwinism, become a bit smarter. And we've been able to...
What kind of tweaks have you made to turn...
Well, we've got our costs down lower. We've looked at routes that no one else was doing. We've stayed away from big, heavy trunk routes. We've started in hubs that no one else was looking at, and it's turned out quite nicely. Same in the Philippines, where we're being killed in domestic. We've now, actually, domestic is making as much money for us as international, so that's a good sign.
In terms of the aircraft that you're ordering and the kind of products that you're going to need to make this work, there was a little bit of surprise that and certainly this was a theme that was knocking around at some of the air shows a little while ago, that you were ordering smaller aircraft than some people had anticipated. There was kind of an expectation that you may go for some slightly bigger aircraft, yet you went kind of narrow body rather than wide body.
Oh yeah, no, we're always going to be a narrow body operator. That 25 minutes and that high utilisation is important. But what we've done is Airbus have come out with a great product, the A321neo, And in 2019, we'll be getting that. That gives us an extra 50 seats. We still think we can do the 25-minute turn, and hence our cost per ASK will go down. We like that aircraft a lot. And so, I started as a 737 operator with 150-odd seats.
Yeah.
We went to the Airbus with 180. The new Neo gives us an extra 6 seats, 186 seats, and now we'll get to about 240 seats.
350s, you're not...
No. I mean, that's AirAsia X, and that's a separate model. But for the 0 to 4 hours, single aisle...
What about AirAsia X? Kind of the 330 obviously is a product that...
Yeah, we bought the 330 Neo.
Yeah.
The first test flight is in the next few days, and we should take our first delivery sometime in 2018.
Okay. The leasing business, what's going on?
Well, it's moving. It should be not too distant future.
We can expect news on the not too distant future?
I think so. These things, we got to make sure that AirAsia isn't going to change its cost structure by selling this leasing company. That's taken a lot of time. We also had quite a few offers, so going through to see what's best for the long term. There
has been speculation that maybe the Chinese aren't as interested as maybe, and some of the buyers aren't as interested as maybe they first were.
Oh, no. Well, in fact, yesterday we got another buyer. So, but I mean, we have to close the shop now, and we're focusing on the 2 or 3 buyers that we've got, and we'll make an announcement.
So it's definitely going to go out the door?
Yes. And depending, the arguments have been on kind of the long term and how much stake we keep and how much management we have, and these are all new things that kept cropping up because it's the first time we've ever done something like this, but we're almost there.
Timeline?
I'd rather not say, otherwise I'll get in trouble with my...
This year?
I anticipate that that's feasible.
When you take a step back and you look at kind of how far you've come and how far this business can progress, kind of where are we?
Oh, I think if you think Ryanair is about 40-odd years down the road, we're 16 years. We're in a much bigger playground than Ryanair, so I think, we're 20, 30%. I think a couple of exciting things are happening. One is the potential of AirAsia becoming one airline, such as Ryanair, through a group holding company and owning 100% of the ASEAN companies is very real. The power of ancillary income is very exciting, with now some really cool things in data and technology. I'm a big believer in data and technology. We're investing heavily in it. And there's no reason, while Amazon on one side is buying planes, we've got planes, and it's fantastic with the power of data. We can do lots of very sexy things on ancillary income in terms of e-commerce, in terms of fintech, and in terms of content business. So I believe our ancillary income pie is going to grow. We have a very profitable passenger service business that's supplemented by a highly profitable ancillary income business, which is looking very good, and doing joint ventures along the way and monetizing those joint ventures, such as selling our academy, Expedia. Well, I've always said we're not. I've always tried to tell people, don't put us in that analyst in the airline category. I've always said we're an FMCG company. I'll never succeed. Bloomberg will always call us an airline. But
well, okay, you have planes, which is a kind of interesting starting point. But so Michael brought in a whole load of these kinds of people. He brought in people from the FOMC, fast-moving consumer goods side of things.
I think what people have forgotten is that airlines have very, very rich data. And that is now playing out in a very exciting and sexy way. So,
and in terms of how you position your growth going forward as a result of that, the focus is on moving people from A to B. And you talked to Kenny Jacobs over at Ryanair, and he was, we're still an airline. That is still the fundamental.
Never changes. If you think about Walmart, you think about people being drawn into their shop to buy products, and then their product category kept growing and growing and growing. For us, our customers are moving people from A to B, but then we can do lots of things with those customers. And I think data and Wi-Fi and artificial intelligence and machine learning have all enabled us now to start monetizing those passengers.
So what do the margins look like out in Asia compared with what you would like? What are the margins like in an airline, and what are the margins like in that kind of business?
Oh, almost triple.
Right.
I mean, if you look at our airline, we'd make about, if at a net level, 14, 15%, somewhere around there. But then at ancillary income levels, we're looking at 40, 50% margins. So that's, you make a good money from your passengers, but then you can really drive ancillary income hard. And I think I'm very excited by the use of data.
So when I think about this is kind of where is the company in 10 years' time? You've talked about the sort of the expansion, the fact that the area of operation, the perimeter in which you're operating is significantly larger.
Yeah.
If you can consolidate it, if you can bring it in-house, if you can make everything work and you can kind of bring it in-house, how big can this company get?
Well, I mean, you know, we've gone from 2 planes to 200 planes in 16 years. But we're only just starting on this journey in India and China, and ASEAN has 700 million people, so they're 3 billion. We're targeting about 500 aircraft.
But do you have an opportunity? It's interesting, earlier on we were talking about Alibaba. The valuations that are applied to tech companies are obviously absolutely massive. And I'm thinking, okay, so you've got a captive audience that you're moving from A to B, and you want to use technology as a result, and that's your kind of consumer pool. Yeah. How do I value you going forward?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be, probably starts today at Bloomberg in terms of what I've been saying. You're exactly right. I've always looked at Uber, I've looked at Alibaba, and I thought they're always trying to partner us. They're always trying to look at doing things with us. And we've just got probably better data. And I have 35 million names, for instance. So how do you value us? I think that's something for us to start showing the market about where they shouldn't just value us as an airline, and at the upside, that in many ways we will transform from an airline to a tech company. That's my vision over the next 10 years. But still a very profitable airline business, and if you look at Amazon now, they're going back into bricks and mortar. So we're in the bricks and mortar bit, and now we're going to the digital part. So an exciting time for us and an exciting place. Asia has 3 billion people.
Yes,